Hey everybody, this is Elsa from northeasternpost.com and you're listening to the Voice of Northeastern Post podcast. This is episode 40 of the show that talks about disturbing details unveiled, trapped victims fight for life. Let's start. University of Idaho student Kaylee Goncalves' parents said they have proof that their daughter attempted to flee her assailant but was caught and brutally killed. According to Steve Goncalves, his daughter Kaylee was locked between a wall and her friend's dead corpse the night of the killings. According to her mother, the perpetrator only intended to kill one pupil, but his plan went awry. Despite being accused with the 4 killings, Bryan Kohberger has refuted the claims. According to Kaylee Goncalves' parents, while trying to flee their murderer, their daughter was trapped by the corpse of her closest friend. The property layout in Moscow, Idaho, according to Steve Goncalves, prevented his daughter from leaving her bedroom the night she was killed. On November 13, 2022, Kaylee, 21, Maddie Mogan, 21, Xana Kernodle, 20, and Kernodle's boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, 20, were all fatally shot. The night of the killings, Kaylee and Maddie were both sleeping in the same bed. According to Kaylee's parents, they had proof that she tried to get out of the situation before being slain. Steve said that Maddie was probably the first victim of the 4 University of Idaho students' murders, which have been accused with being committed by 28-year-old Bryan Kohberger. Citing the coroner's findings, he surmises that Kaylee was trapped between her friend's corpse and the wall prior to the attacker attacking her. There is evidence to suggest that she awoke and attempted to flee the situation, but she was beaten and stabbed, he told CBS News' Peter Van Sant. The bed was positioned next to the wall. Both the left side of the bed and the headboard were in contact with the wall. And we think Kaylee was on the inside and Maddie was outdoors. Kaylee was confined because of how the bed was constructed. According to Kaylee's mother, Christy, the murderer intended to kill 1 and killed 4, adding that she believes the murderer's plot went awry. They made these remarks after Kohberger forfeited his right to a prompt trial, delaying the legal proceeding until at least the next year. When asked to make a plea, he declined, so the judge entered a not guilty indication in his place. The accusations against him are refuted by his legal team. In the night of the Idaho murders, Van Sant met with the victims' families, and Jasmine, Xana's sister, revealed herself for the first time. She remarked, "I don't know why the murders happened. I wish we were aware. All 4 of them were simply such wonderful individuals who had a huge positive influence on others around them." The father of Xana said that he thinks his daughter resisted her murderer, adding, "It's disturbing to think about." The Goncalves family thinks that suspected murderer Kohberger visited the Kings Road property on many reconnaissance missions. According to Steve, he had to know when people were coming and going. According to a police document, Kohberger visited the home at least 12 times before the deaths. Before a gag order was implemented, the Goncalves family was doing their own inquiry and often spoke out. The investigation, according to the family, showed that Kohberger was following both Kaylee and Maddie on Instagram, adding that it looked to be his genuine account. "We won't simply wait around, crossing our fingers that justice will be served," remarked Steve. "He's going to feel all of us simply gazing at the back of his head," his wife said, adding that she thinks Kohberger is accountable for the killings. "He is aware of what he did to our daughter, too." However, Kohberger's legal team disputes the allegations made on social media, claiming that there is no connection between him and any of the victims. There is little detail available about the case due to the gag order, but court documents indicate the suspected killer's attorneys are contesting the genealogy that led to his arrest. The supposed film of his Hyundai Elantra, according to his team, was mistaken. Legal professionals are starting to wonder whether the case is as clear-cut as it originally seemed to be when Kohberger was taken into custody. "It's hardly a slam dunk," according to Brianna Fox, a professor of criminology at the University of South Florida and a former FBI special agent. "The defense seems to be claiming that there was a rush to judgment, that the police made an arrest too rapidly, and that they concentrated on their client too quickly," she said. Nearly 2 months after the triple homicide, in late December, Kohberger was taken into custody at his parents' Pennsylvania home. His DNA was found on the button of a knife sheath that was found beneath Maddie Mogan's corpse, and this led to his arrest. His defense team has said that the DNA was planted by law enforcement and that his alibi is that he was driving around when the crimes took place. The FBI is reported to have interrogated the genetic expert testifying in Kohberger's trial at her home, according to the defense team for the defendant. Gabriela Vargas, a genetic genealogy specialist who recently discussed DNA matching in court, was allegedly hounded by the FBI immediately after taking the stand, according to Taylor. Regarding what happens to witnesses after they testify in court, Taylor also said that she intended to submit a motion. Bill Thompson, the Latah County prosecutor, said in court that when Vargas questioned some of her own testimony, he asked the FBI to conduct an investigation. The death sentence is being sought in his case, which might result in his being executed by firing squad, according to prosecutors. Defense lawyers for Kohberger are pleading with the court to have the courtroom's cameras turned off, but he is still being held without charge. A coalition of media representatives and the prosecution fought for the trial to be recorded, shown on television, and even streamed live at a hearing that Judge John Judge oversaw. The court remarked that the media's coverage of the case pushed the envelope and questioned if they had a right to intervene in the trial. He adjourned the session without reaching a decision about the use of cameras during the trial.